And this is I think our fifth, no, it's our fourth interview that we're having in this series, which is the Construction and Trades Day virtual series. We got kind of a unique organization on today. It's not exactly a trade. It's more of a I would say it's more of a construction sort of pre-apprenticeship program. But I'll let the director for the Indiana plan kind of get into that a little bit. And then we also got a participant who's in the Indiana plan right now. Her name is Kristen Conway, so we'll be talking to her as well. Once again, my name is Kevin Comerford. I am the Director of Professional Development at the Construction Advancement Foundation of Northwest Indiana. For those of you not familiar with the Construction Advancement Foundation, we are a contractor trade association. We have over 500 contractors working here in Northwest Indiana. We cover 7 counties, but I would say primarily most of our contractors work in the northern counties, which are primarily Lake, Porter, and LaPorte. But we do cover Newton, Jasper, Pulaski County, and Stark County. For those, like I said, for those of you not familiar with the CAF, like I said, we are a contractor trade organization. Most of our contractors work in the commercial, heavy highway, and industrial sectors of the construction industry. We don't really do a whole home building, or at least a whole lot of home building. Some of the subcontractors might do some home building, but we're mostly, like I said, commercial, industrial, and heavy highway. And then my guest today is going to be Roman Bronson. He is the area director of the Indiana plan. The Indiana plan works to promote diversity in the construction industry. And just really quick before I get into the questions for Roman, I want to thank the Center of Workforce Innovations, the Northwest Indiana Workforce Board, especially Barb's Grimsgard, Aaron Vanny. They have been so helpful in helping us get the word out about careers in the construction industry. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to them. So I'm going to go ahead and just start asking some questions of Roman. And Roman, this is something that took me a while to understand, but what is the Indiana plan? And can you talk about how it relates to the construction industry here in Northwest Indiana?
Yeah, sure. I also got to say thank you very much for having me on, yourself and the whole team. Very easy to work with. And again, appreciate you for having us. So the Indiana plan, just like you said, we do a lot of things, wear a lot of hats. It's all for the mission of increasing diversity with underrepresented populations, which is minorities, women, veterans within the union building trades. And what we are is a community outreach program that's partnered with the building trades. We started back in 1970, statewide, started down in Indianapolis. It was in result to the civil rights activities of the time, where there was not enough diversity within the union construction trades. So there was an executive order at the time put out by President Johnson to create these types of programs called hometown plans. So we started here locally in the 1990s. So we've been around for over 20 years in all of our communities that we know and love and work in. And what we're trying to do is, through a series of different activities, we're trying to get people interested in joining apprenticeships. And we are a support organization for individuals that do want to try to get into an apprenticeship, to help them get the credentials, the knowledge, as well as some hopefully some working experience to make them a good candidate for an apprenticeship.
So on the welcome screen, I got the information for the Indiana plan. So they have a website on their indianaplan.org. So just wanted to share that with you. So if you want to go to their website and find out more information after this program, you're free to do that. So can you tell me a little bit about your role as area coordinator? Like, what do you do on a daily basis in order to help promote diversity in the construction industry?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of my job description is recruiting. So this would be an activity with recruitment. That's very important. Also, to be a liaison with the different union officials, business agents, et cetera, to hopefully get these people in front of the right, we call them trainees. Those are participants that's officially signed up with the Indiana Plan program, to get them in front of the right people so that they can have success as they go about their apprenticeship journey. We also coordinate with the different apprenticeship coordinators. Apprenticeship coordinators are people that run those apprenticeships. They actually oversee a lot of the things that you will learn and the job assignments that you will go on. So we make sure we get individuals in front of those people. I'm also constantly updating the curriculum that's part of the Indiana plan. So I probably should talk about that a little bit. So through our 2-week program, what we end up doing is helping individuals know what it is, know what the process is getting into an apprenticeship. So the first step is taking the test. The second step is an interview. And after that, you get on the rank list and they take you into an apprenticeship based on your ranking on that list. So a lot of what I do on a day-to-day basis is make sure the program reflects what the needs are of the apprenticeship, of these different apprenticeships. So also we work with contractors. So when available, when there's a job where they need extra help, we can sometimes refer individuals to these contractors so that they can start getting a working resume, and again, hopefully get into an apprenticeship. So also the grant department and everything. So we work very hard to make sure that we have a lot of relevant training under the one banner of the Indiana plan.
So you mentioned you have a 2-week program that all the participants slash trainees uh, uh, go through. Can you talk a little bit about those 2 weeks? Like what exactly does the program entail, and take us through the steps of what you teach these apprentices as they go. I know you said you introduce them to the trades, but can you go into a little more in depth about exactly what you do?
Yeah, sure. So so my personal mission is to make sure that individuals know that not just that the apprenticeships exist and trades exist, but why to get involved with them and how to and hopefully how to pick the one that will be right for them. So the activities are kind of split up in that way as far as getting ready for an apprenticeship and then picking which one is right for you. So as far as the first part of getting ready for the apprenticeship is during the 2 weeks, we're going to go over a lot of math. So that first test I talked about earlier is I call it an entrance exam, but it's more aptitude test. And what we want to do is just make sure that individuals are up to speed with their math skills, with their English skills, with their reading comprehension. And actually, reading comprehension is starting to become the the part of the test that individuals struggle with the most. So to help with those things, again, we do throughout the class. There's math that's focused strictly for construction and the trades. We do some labor history, give these individuals some reading assignments, and we talk about them the next day in class. We also, give individuals certifications that they would use to become attractive applicants or to hopefully get some working experience. So that would be OSHA 10, occupational safety and health administration. Also, we through a partnership with CAF, we give them credential as far as working around silica dust. So what that is, on most construction sites, there's particulates that you have to be aware of, how it can affect your health if you're not taking the proper safety precautions. So again, that's been a great help with the CAF partnering with us to put that on. We're going to start first aid and CPR training as well. And we're doing that as well as introducing individuals to what is life as an apprentice, as well as being involved in the union construction industry. It's going to be different than what most people assume that they are. Whether it's just getting on the job site, if you have an issue, who to talk to, what are some best practices, just small things can really make the big difference, like attendance, punctuality, attitude, really putting all these things in the focus so that they understand the mentality that it will take to succeed on those job sites. After they finish all of this, we also, there's something new that we've been adding. Obviously, you have to have boots and tools to be an effective tradesperson. So we give these individual stipends for boots. You'll get tools for free. We also give you a credential, it's a BCRC card. So we are a drug-free industry. It has to be that way with all the hazards that exist on the job. So we all need to go there, work hard, and then go home safely. So they have a drug testing program called BCRC that we also sign up our participants for. And the great thing about that card is it gives them free access to if they have issues with budgeting or they need to figure out how to best use their finances, they can get access to that for free, as well as if they're having mental health challenges, whether it's themselves or their family, they can get some free access to help with that. And we also facilitate apprenticeship field trips. We also do hands-on skills so they can have an idea of what's the difference between a plumber and a pipe fitter. What is an insulator? What is a technical engineer? What do electricians really do? I think Ms. Conway, who's on the line, she could tell you that electricians do much more than just put up lights and put in light switches. So, we try to cram in a lot within those 2 weeks. The program is free for individuals that are selected. So all of the things that we talked about is free for participants. And, most of we are always taking feedback from the industry to customize the program to make sure it's relevant for all the participants. So once that's over with, we hold tutoring, whether in class or online. We do that twice a month, and we are trying our best to stay in contact with all the trainees and make sure that they are progressing their application in the application process. So we cram a lot in the 2 weeks.
Yeah, it sounds like you do. So, real quick, before in my introduction, I forgot to mention this, but if you have any questions, just simply type in the chat box, and I will look at those questions as we're going through this interview, and I will ask these questions of our guest today. So, you mentioned a lot of things that you do in the 2 weeks. Now, I know a big part of getting accepted into an apprenticeship program, and I think probably one of the things that probably scares people the most is the interview process. You guys do anything to help people with the interview process?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, public speaking. I'm imagine, Kevin, you're a really intelligent guy. Public speaking is still one of the top two fears of people, I would imagine. And the interview for an apprenticeship is no different. It is you in front of maybe 6 to 8 people trying to really make the case why you should be a part of this program. And I mean, just really hitting it quickly why you should want to be a part of an apprenticeship. It's like if I told you, hey, you can go, there's a college that exists that will, if you can get accepted, they will get you a job right out the gate in the field that you're interested in. Not only that, you'll get paid. They will teach you for free. This is free. They will also, any additional learning or education or certificates that you'll need, they'll give that to you for free. They'll also give you health insurance and set your retirement plan. This is why you in college. And then when you graduate, you can go on in your career and you're already a very experienced and valuable person. If I told you there was a college like that exists, a lot of people will be knocking down the doors trying to get involved with it. And it does exist. It's called an apprenticeship. So even though all that stuff is free to you, it still costs individuals. And I think we both know this, Kevin. With an ironworker, if you want to be an ironworker apprentice, they said it costs, once they put it all together, all the costs as far as teaching you, getting you the job, the tools, XYZ, is something like $90,000 of some very exorbitant cost. And you have maybe 5 minutes to really make your case in front of these individuals that I am worth that effort to be a part of this apprenticeship. So what we do to help individuals have that experience is we do mock interviews that's specific to that interview. And the individuals that we have doing it is actually our executive director. He is one of the individuals, if you want to be an electrician in the Indianapolis area, a union electrician, he's actually the person that would be interviewing you. So again, through our connections, we have some very relevant exercises that we try to give all the trainees to make sure that they are comfortable doing that interview. Because it is. I remember doing it myself. I'm being an apprentice. I'm also a journeyman construction person, and it was I had to have on some good deodorant that day because I was really going through it, trying to really make sure all of my answers are up to snuff, so I can be a part of that apprenticeship. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it really is an important part, and we do what we can to really make sure people are ready for that experience.
You did bring up a good point that I don't think we've mentioned in any of these other programs, but not only do you get the free training, but these apprenticeship programs are looking to invest into individuals. And like you said, the ironworkers came up with a number where they figured out how much they invest per individual. And I think it was upwards of $90,000 as you go through the entire 4-year program for the ironworkers. So, I mean, it's a great career, but it's not easy to get in, and they're looking for the best of the best. So so that was a great point that you hit on there. So I just want to talk a little bit about your application process now. How would somebody apply for the Indiana plan? And maybe before you get into that question, do you have to be a minority subgroup or group to apply for the Indiana plan?
Yeah, sure. So, so as far as the last question first, we don't have to. Okay. So the application process. The application process, the easiest way of doing that would be to first apply online. So we do have a website, and applying online will be the easiest thing. There's also you can come in by appointment to fill out a paper application if you need to, but online is probably the easiest way of doing it.
So I got the screen up. Do you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I see it right there. That hyperlink in blue, apply online. If you click that, it'll take you to a different page, and you fill that out.
So it's just like a standard application?
Yep, just a standard application. And
here's all your ethnicity. So you don't have to necessarily.
Oh, there's an option if you don't want to identify, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, do not identify.
But you don't have to be a minority, or you don't have to necessarily be a woman. Anybody could really apply for the program. Right?
Yes. The main criteria for us is what is your income level. So we are funded by a number of grants that are where the target audience is low income individuals. So that's really the main criteria. We do have a focus on minorities and women and veterans, but we have had participants from all over Indiana, whether it's we've had someone from Couts, we've had someone from Valparaiso, Chesterton, Gary, Hammond, East Chicago. This, as long as you're a resident of Indiana and you are meeting our income thresholds, then by all means, we will love to have you in this program. But as far as our application process, it mirrors the application process of an apprenticeship, where after you apply, we will schedule you to come in and take for us a TABE test. It's not to pass or fail you. It's just so we know where you are, what your math and English levels are. And then you'll sit down for a quick interview with myself. And what I'm hoping to get from that interview is just, do you really understand what you're signing up for? A realistic timeline. Sometimes people think it's like applying to Walmart or something where they will immediately get hired on. It is a whole process, and I want to make sure that individual really knows what they're getting themselves into. And as long as we're both in the same, as long as we both have the same expectations for what they're getting out of the program, then we get them slot into our next quarterly class, and we go from there.
I'm going to take a question real quick from the chat. Are there any general minimum qualifications? This person specifically asked about age, but are there any other general minimum qualifications to apply to the Indiana plan?
Oh, no, we do not. We don't discriminate on age or anything of that nature.
So you could be 12?
12?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that child is doing some good planning. So, we'll encourage them as we can. Okay, maybe we discriminate just a little bit. You have to be 18 and up. Okay, thank you. Point taken, Kevin. Point
I
taken.
knew that answer.
Point taken. So you have to be 18 and up. We do require you have to have a high school diploma or equivalent. So that could be a GED or HSE, whichever. As long as a high school equivalent, and you have to be able to pass a drug test and have a valid driver's license. If you don't, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, just one thing. If you don't have a valid driver's license, you can still apply, and we do work with some other organizations that can help you with some of those steps. You may not be able to officially start the Indiana plan, but wherever your particular circumstances are, you can still apply. And when we sit down and talk, we could try to mitigate whatever those things are so you can officially be into the Indiana plan.
So what does the competition look like? And how many classes do you take every year? I don't know if you mentioned that yet. And I mean, do you have a lot more applicants than you're able to take in typically?
Yeah, so typically, okay, so let me start with this. We do classes quarterly. So right now we're going to be doing our February class. The next one will be in May. The next one will be in August, and so forth. Every 3 months, a rotating schedule. Our applications, as of lately, because of COVID, has been going down. So actually, this would be a good time to try to get into the Indiana Plan program. Before COVID, we try to keep the classes to about 10 in that quarterly class. So before COVID, we would definitely have to turn away some individuals, not turn them away as far as you'll never be in the program, but just like we talked about before, maybe they had a driver's license issue, or maybe they had an issue with their high school diploma. So we just help them with those steps so they can officially get in the program. But as of right now, we are we're moving certain aspects of the program online so that we can host more individuals, but with the class size and restrictions, et cetera, the classes have been small. Yes.
So when you do, after somebody applies and they take the general aptitude test, so you can kind of see what they're strong at and see what they may be slightly deficient in. You said you do a personal interview. Is there any characteristics that you try to ascertain from that individual through that interview process to kind of ensure that they might be a good fit for the program? I mean, what kind of things do you look for, in those applicants?
Yeah, sure.
Process.
So for us, it's more okay. So what I'm looking for is an individual that is someone that's planning for the future. That's really what I'm trying to ascertain, because this application process really is a process. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. But going through it myself, I can definitely tell you that it's worth it. It is worth going through all the hassle of all of these things to solidly be in the middle class, have a middle class lifestyle, wages, et cetera, to have retirement and healthcare and really marketable skills. It's worth going through the process. So what I'm looking for is someone that is understanding of the concept of delayed gratification. Do what you got to do now, and I promise it'll be worth it in the future. So the next big thing I'm looking for is I'm looking for attitude and punctuality. Because as long as you have those three things, the rest of it will come. It will come. If a person is focused on a plan and willing to be patient for the results, if they're willing to show up early, not just on time, but early, and try to have a good attitude despite what's being thrown at them and all of our own personal life issues, I think that person is going to be successful in whatever they decide to do.
Yeah, you just kind of echoed what all the other apprenticeship coordinators that we've had on have been saying is, you really don't need to have any construction skills per se to get in the trades.
Right.
So it might be helpful to go into a vocational or some kind of construction program while you're in high school, but they'd rather work with a clean slate. But as long as you have that responsibility and you're able to show up to the job on site and you have that work ethic and you have that attitude, especially, they can mold you into a construction worker. So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to go ahead and ask a couple questions. So we have one of the trainees in the Indiana plan joining us today. Her name is Kristen Conway. Kristen, I think you're on mute right now, but So can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you heard about the Indiana plan, and maybe, when did you graduate from high school, and, where are you at in the program right now?
So I graduated high school in 2020, and beforehand, I was thinking about joining an apprenticeship, but I didn't really know like where I wanted to go at it or whatever. So I was in a career school, like it's called the Area Career Center where I live, and our teacher,
Was that the
he put
Hammond
on,
Area Career Center?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I'm familiar.
And the instructor, he put Roman's information on the board and everything, and he said if we're interested in, apprenticeships and things like that, to let him know. So that's what I did, and now I did the Indiana plan, the 2-week program, and I learned a lot about different trades, because the one that I really want to be a part of was the electrical apprenticeship, but I also did learn a lot about other apprenticeships, and it did make me think a little bit about, or maybe I want to be something else. But right now I think I'm living the dream.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, Kristen. So what did you think about going through the program? Was it tough for those 2 weeks, or was there anything
Uh,
difficult about it, or what did you think?
I I enjoyed it. I enjoyed learning about like all the different other trades, and also we went over a lot of different math skills that truly I forgot about, especially like fractions and ratios and things like that, that really I need to brush up on still. But other than that, I had a good experience in it, and I would definitely recommend.
So when did you go through the plan? Was it in the fall or
It
summer?
was it was May 2020, I think.
So
Yeah, May.
almost, you've been in the program almost a year now. And you're currently working for a contractor? Are you a pre-apprentice right now?
Yes.
So have you applied for the electricians yet?
Yes, I applied to the union, I think in July, but because of COVID, they kind of like slowed down in testing. So I haven't taken my aptitude test, but I called to see what's going on with it. And they just tell me to be patient and wait. So that's what I'm doing right now.
So you're working as a pre-apprentice on a job site right now. Who are you working for?
Sweeney Electric.
Queenie Electric, and what project are you on?
We're doing the Hard Rock Casino
The
in
Hard Rock
Gary.
Casino, the new one in Gary, huh?
Yeah,
That's a big project. Are you learning a lot out there?
a lot. I learned a lot. I could
Oh.
say I always tell my coworkers and stuff like back in August, I didn't even know what any of this stuff was, but it's cool because like they take you aside and like teach you certain things. Like I learned how to bend 1-inch pipe, and it was a bad bend, but it was like cool to
Good
to
stuff.
learn all types of different things like that.
That's awesome. So it looks like you're in a job site trailer right now, are you not?
Yes, yes, I
So
am.
you're on site at the. Is there any way we could get a glimpse of the project from where you're at?
Sure, sure. Can you see it? Oh, it's upside down.
So that's the project you're working on, huh?
Yeah. So it's almost done, but the outside is like pretty finished, and it's cool to see. Like when I came, it was just like dirt and sand and dirt, but now it's like a whole parking lot and stuff. So it's cool to see it progress so quickly.
Yeah, I think that project only started like a year and a half ago, and it's almost done, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
So do you expect to be on the job for much longer, or um, have they given you a timeline?
I think it's supposed to be finished like spring, so maybe March or April, I think. But we're kind of slowing down with like work. We were working overtime for about 2 months almost, but we've been working just 8s now, and I think maybe a few more weeks, I guess.
Yeah, how's that paycheck?
The overtime paycheck is pretty good.
Yeah, overtime always nice.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it gets better once you actually get into the program, because I think the average wage for a journeyman, including health and welfare benefits, are over $63 an hour. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's really good money involved. But how's the work? Is it pretty hard?
I can say before I started, I didn't think it was gonna be too hard, but like it's a lot of labor and you don't really expect it to be like that much labor, but it's a lot of heavy lifting and like I see our company didn't do like the underground work, but another company, I see them all the time like digging in the ground and it's like super cold outside. So it's not just like wiring up lights and stuff like that. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's one of the things that maybe people don't expect is that you're working when it's cold out, you're working when it's hot out, you're working sometimes at heights. And so if you're afraid of heights, it might not be a career for you. A lot of bending and crouching and climbing on ladders and carrying things. So yeah, I mean, just to be realistic, it's probably not for everyone. So I'm going to go back to Roman. You're a union electrician, and you went through the whole program, and so you have direct knowledge of what it takes to make it in the construction industry. What would you say to somebody who wants to start a career in the construction industry, so that they can have a successful career? I mean, is there any advice that you would give them?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess I would start with have a good support group. That's something I try to really stress with all the trainees. I mean, I'm assuming that we've already checked off the box of, all right, you're going to be on time, you're going to have a good attitude, you're going to have a good work ethic. So that's besides those things that we talked about earlier. Having a good support group is something that is going to be humongous, especially for some like minorities and women's and things like that. Women, because it's going to be just different than what you may be used to. And sometimes if you don't have if you don't have the understanding that I'm here for all of the great things that this can afford me, then it can be a little it can dampen some of your enthusiasm about what you're doing, because it do take a little bit to get to that point where, like you said, you're making, you know, I think on average it's like $40 an hour, those type of things. It's you have to get through the process to get to that point. So as long as you have a good support group that's going to be there, like at the time I had a young son, I had my son pretty early, so just having a babysitter and just having friends telling me, hey, I can do it. Even with the teachers and in the apprenticeship, they can become your support group. It was a lot of times I stayed after class and just to make sure I really understood all those principles and I understood the culture of the job that I was on. So all of those things come together. And as long as you can have that and keep your eye on the prize and make sure that you are really leaning on your support group, I think that you'll be fine in the industry. Don't be afraid to work hard. Don't be afraid to be out there in the elements. It's like I tell my trainees that if you want to play football, you don't go out there in shorts and a t-shirt. You wear the proper uniform for what you plan on doing. If you're going to work outside in the cold, I've done it. It's not that bad as long as you have the right tools, the right clothing, etc. You really, a day like today was 35 degrees. You start looking forward to that. Like, oh man, it's a heat wave. You got to start taking. So, just stick with it. Just stick with it, because my background was I was actually a actuarial science major, a math major. I just never really liked being in a classroom. I don't like sitting in the office. I like being outside in the sunshine. And when I found out about the electrician apprenticeship, I went and applied and not really knowing what I got myself into. And that first year was really, that first year was very humbling for me. I came from a place where it didn't really, I don't know about you, Kevin, but like in high school, it's like certain things just came easy to me. I wasn't really familiar with the idea of trying to really reach a goal. So when I got into the apprenticeship, it was difficult because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So, my support group was huge for me, and I hope that the Indiana Plans is a support group for individuals that's trying to get into an apprenticeship that maybe don't have a support group of their own. And I do hope that more people just take the opportunity to apply and try to get involved with it, because just from my own personal experience, it's been a great life changing event for me, as well as for my son and for my family. And I hope more people get involved. I know I kind of went off on a tangent, so forgive me.
No, that's great information, and it's a really good story that you have there. Um, well, I appreciate you. I'm looking to see if we have any more questions, and it doesn't look like there's any more questions.
I put him to sleep. I'm sorry, Kevin.
I think we did a good job, meaning we answered all the questions out there. But I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story and talking about the Indiana plan. On your screen, I put up the information for the Indiana plan, and I should also mention that the CAF, along with the building trades, have created a website that can inform you about all the different trades that exist out here in Northwest Indiana. It's called We Build Northwest Indiana. You could either Google those words or just go to webuildnwy.com. And there you can find out all the information about all the different trades, how to apply, when to apply, contact information. And then also, for those of you that might need to brush up on your math skills, the Center of Workforce Innovations have adult learning centers. So you could call CWI, you could go to cwicore.com or call the number listed there. So please take a screenshot of that information. Kristen, congratulations on your first step on getting into the trades, and I wish you all the success in the world. It sounds like you're in a really good spot, and hell, you're not even 20 yet, are you?
No, 19.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I wish you luck. You got your whole life ahead of you, and I think you're on your way to an excellent career path. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks for sharing the job site. Thanks for talking about your experiences in the Indiana plan. So I want to thank all of you for joining us live. And again, this video will be recorded. And if you want to show it to other classes, all the videos are located at the Work One website. So I think you just go to Work One NW, which stands for Northwest, and then just go to the video link and you can find all these videos. Hold on, I do have a question coming in. Let me see what I got here.
Do you mind if I just say one last thing, Kevin?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So just especially for the students and teachers, and if there's any parents that are watching, I would encourage all of you to at least become familiar with where are the different apprenticeships in your area. There's 20 different apprenticeships. So for every trade, between Kevin and I, we could probably list all 20 of them. There are 20 different specialty trades, from technical engineers to iron workers to boiler makers, everything, heat frost insulators, operating engineers, sheet metal workers, sprinkle fitters. There's a lot of different options out here. And a lot of these specialty schools are in your backyard. I think there's about 5 to 6 of them in just the Maryville area. So I always encourage individuals, some of them aren't open right now because of COVID, but just like you would do college tours, do a tour of these apprenticeships. Some of these specialty schools are as big as universities, especially if you talk about the operating engineers over in Wilmington and whatnot. They're very impressive.
Carpenters.
Yep, the carpenters in Maryville. The electricians have one of the premier sites in the area. The roofers have they have a whole working roof within a building to teach you some of the specialty skills that they learn, even to the extent of green roofs, where instead of just material on your roof, they actually have plants that help with the green initiative as far as absorbing that water, and you actually have a great garden on top of your roof, as well as protected from heat, etc. So anyway, just make sure all of it, I do believe, is listed on the WeBuild website that
Yeah.
Kevin's on right
Yeah, I
now.
got it up on the screen right now. So if you hit on trade careers right here, that's where all the trades are. So like Roman said, there's 20 different trades here, and you could pick up, here's the electrician, since Roman's electrician. It has all the information on the website there, talks how long the apprenticeship program is, whether it's eligible for a degree from Ivy Tech Community College, which this one is, and where to apply. And this particular trade has a couple different places to apply, one in Lake County and one in Porter County.
Yeah.
So, as Roman said, before you go to the interview, or, learn as much as you can about the trade, because they're going to ask you, why do you want to become an electrician? Why do you want to become a sheet metal worker? Have an answer for them. So, great information, probably one of the best presentations we've had to date. So I thank you so much for the information. And again, once again, thank you, Kristen. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, thank you. I will say definitely Conway was a standout trainee. Seriously. So, I'm so happy that you was able to join us as well, and really encourage just everyone. I will definitely say, and I promise this will be my last statement, Kevin. But women, we need more women in these trades. We need women in these trades, and there is not enough. And women make great tradespeople. And one of the big things I always talk about is, if you're on that job site, because there is a contract that dictates what people are paid. So as long as you're on if you're on that job doing what everyone else is doing, whether you're white, black, man, woman, whatever, you're going to get paid what you're supposed to get paid. And there's a whole system in place. So it's a great opportunity for men and women. And Conway is a great example of, if you show up, participate, there will be individuals along the way that's going to help you get to where you're trying to go. So,
great point. You hear about the wage gap in this country, and in the construction trades, that just doesn't exist, because everybody is, obviously superintendents, maybe get a little bit bump, but I mean,
right.
Everybody's pretty much on the same level. So, yeah, great point, Roman. I appreciate the insight. Well, I think that'll do it for today. In your chat box, if you look in your chat box, the Center of Workforce Innovations have put in a couple links for the Adult Learning Center and the We Build Northwest Indiana website. So please visit those links when you get a chance. And thank you for joining us today.
All right. Thank you for having us.